Hi students, today we are going to have a small vocabulary test. In this test there will be 60 questions which are going to be asked, and you can introspect yourself by answering all 60 questions. So those who are scoring above 30 can be identified as a moderate user, and those who are getting less than 20 might be seen as a mediocre. But anyway, this is going to be a very interesting session in which you can look into yourself, and you can also feel proud of yourself about how much mark you are going to attain through this test. This is going to be quite interesting, and I hope most of the students could participate and look into yourself, and you can also feel proud of how best you are going to get the marks. And see, every slide starts, you can make a pause and write down the answer on paper, and finally you can analyze how best you are giving the answer. I hope this is quite interesting too. The first one, you can look at the questions: disheveled appearance, baffling problem, lenient parent, repulsive personality, audacious attempt, parry a blow, prevalent disease, ominous report, an incredible story, an ophthalmologist. Disheveled appearance, the answer is going to be untidy, a baffling problem, bustling. Third one, a lenient parent. Lenient parent, not strict. Repulsive personality, disgusting. Audacious attempt, bold. And six, parry a blow. The answer is word off. Prevalent disease, widespread. 8, ominous report, threatening. 9, an incredible story. You can think this is unbelievable. An ophthalmologist, eye doctor. So you can check your answers, and you can feel happy about how best you have given the answer. And I expect you to use this vocabulary in your social conversation. So we are discussing about the doctors and the different kind of attitude, and how best your attempt was. Audacious attempt. Audacious means excessively bold. Even it may be seen as a term which is quite different from normal word bold. This is quite excessively bold. In front of a senior, if you are showing excessive boldness, it may not be appropriate. So don't use audacious, because this is quite a different word. Lenient parent, which is a very normal word, which could be seen in different conversation. So I hope with the 10 questions, you can check how many marks you can get it. Again, we are going to check the next questions. Okay, next word will supersede the old law. Take the place of. 12. An anonymous donor, one whose name is not known, performed an autopsy, examination of a corpse to determine the cause of death. An indefatigable worker, tireless. Indefatigable worker, tireless. Confirmed atheist, disbeliever in God. So here we are going to have 5 more words. Supersede, which is take the place of something. Anonymous donor, one whose name is not known. Autopsy is a kind of post-mortem. Indefatigable workers, a totally tireless worker. Atheist, disbeliever in God. So I hope you can check your answers, which is quite different. And most probably I could say that few of them might have known about these words like autopsy and atheist. These are all the terms which are normally used in different kind of conversation. And I could say that supersede and anonymous may be a little different, and it could be difficult to. So this could be an opportunity to learn new vocabulary, which is expected to be used in your regular conversation. So autopsy, which is normally done once the death is identified and they want to know the cause of the death, we need to conduct postmortem. The postmortem is called as an autopsy. So we can check the other questions. Okay, the next word is endless loquacity. Loquacity means talkativeness. A glib talker, smooth, incorrigible optimist, beyond correction or reform. An ocular problem. Ocular is visual. Notorious demagogue. Rebel rouser. Naive attitude. unsophisticated, living in affluence, wealth, in retrospect, view of the past, a gourmet, canonizer of good food, to simulate interest, pretend, a magnanimous action, generous. So here you can look at a different kind of words. Loquacity, it comes from loquacious adjective terms. A glib talker, banal talker, garrulous talker. We can have a different kind of vocabulary. Through this, you can understand how we can describe about various talker. Incorrigible student, a student who cannot be reformed. Acular, monocular, binocular. We can also think that acular in the sense of vision. So demagogue, so rebel rouser, naive attitude, naive people who are not sophisticated or experienced, the people quite amateurish, we can say naive attitude. Affluence, the adjective term is affluent. The guy who is affluent can marry a beautiful girl. Like that. In retrospect, we can remember the old events. We are recalling the information. Gourmet. Gourmet is canonizer of a good food. A person who has a good knowledge about food and beverages called a gourmet. And normally, we can say that a chef or the person who may be dealing with food and beverage might have got a various idea about food and beverage. Simulate, people may be pretending, okay, maybe acting as if they know everything. And magnanimous, normally a person who can be generous, altruistic person. So through this one we can make it magnanimity, generosity, all noun forms, okay. So you can think big-hearted person. We can make out a different kind of vocabulary, but I expect the students who can use any one of the word. And we don't expect the students who can use a different kind of vocabulary which may be difficult to remember those words. But by keeping practice, you can be able to understand. Okay, let's have another session. Okay, next we can check a clandestine meeting. Clandestine is something secret. Apathetic citizens, the apathetic citizens, the citizens who are indifferent, uninterested, uninvolved. To placate his son, answer is change a feeling of hostility to one of friendliness. So placate, mollify, conciliate. We can conciliatory approach. We can make a different kind of words. Placate and as I told you, mollify. You can conciliate. You can think of any one of the word based on the situation. You can use it. For example, if you are in a customer service area, if you find any one of the customer with anger can be placated, so you can use this kind of vocabulary. So okay, we can go to the next session. Okay, the next word, to vacillate continuously. The answer is swing back and forth in indecision, a nostalgic feeling. Nostalgic feeling, a homesick, feel antipathy, hostility. To be more circumspect, cautious, an intrepid fighter, fearless, diaphanous, sheer and gauzy, taciturn host, disinclined to conversation, to malign his friend, slander, a congenital deformity occurring at or during birth. So these terms are very, very important. To vacillating position, the person who can be in dilemma and taking the decisions. So nostalgic feeling or nostalgia, we are always having different kind of thoughts about our house and our house member, the family members. Feel antipathy. Antipathy is kind of a hostility, hostile. So antipathy in the sense that we should not show any kind of antipathy towards other people. Okay, because as you know that when you have antipathy towards somebody, which will reflect you on karma basis. Circumspect in the sense we need to be more cautious. Intrepid is a fearless fighter. Those who are excessively bold. Okay, diaphanous material, sheer and gauzy. Taciturn goes to a person who is reluctant to make communications. So we can think that they are quite opposite to taciturn. They are quite opposite to loquacious people. Okay, taciturn who are totally different and they don't like making conversation much. To malign is friend, slander. Congenital. Congenital is a term which is related with birth. So congenital deformity. So deformity or something, this kind of a deformity which is found during the person's birth. So these are all quite different vocabulary. You can use it. So normally the familiar words are antipathy. And normally I used to have this vocabulary antipathy instead of hostility. This is quite different, and we can use it normally. So let's check the other words. Okay, next we can look at the neurosis. Neurosis, emotional disturbance. Unequivocal statement, unequivocal, clear and forthright, vicarious enjoyment, occurring from a feeling of identification with another, psychogenic, originating in the mind, an anachronous attitude belonging to a different time, her iconoclastic face, sneering at tradition, a tyro, beginner, a laconic reply, a terse and meaningful. So here you can look at different words. A neurosis, normally we can identify the candidate. These words here you can look at we can the word unequivocal, especially unequivocal means unequivocal, opposite equivocal. Equivocal is very clear and easy to understand. Ambiguous. And equivocal is vicarious enjoyment, easy to understand, which can be identified in the field of iconoclastic, as I told you. Psycho means who looks to mind. Okay, so you can easily remember the word. Doesn't believe in the old tradition. He always expects iconoclastic, different. You can imagine he normally a person who can always blame the tradition. So laconic reply is very short. They are always thinking something different. Okay. So we need to identify you can remember the word tyro is a beginner for doing something. So you can laconic reply, very terse and meaningful, and very short form of replying when the guy can. So here this terminology is vicarious enjoyment, easy, and we all know that you can use all kinds of words and of identification. As I told you earlier, another some words here are very easy and emotional. People are regularly using. Okay, the person especially vicarious have unequivocal flow of talk. Iconoclastic. Okay. So iconoclastic, you can easily remember one of the various words which are quite familiarized with. Was acting as iconoclastic. I hope you can identify. So let's check other words. Let's see the another questions. Next one is semantic confusion. Semantic is something related with words. Okay. So if you identify the person who is struggling to construct a sentence, we can say that the person who cannot find the right words or identify the meaning of the words, we can say he has some kind of semantic error or semantic issues. So semantic is relating with the meaning of words. Okay, the next one is cavalier treatment. Haughty and high-handed. Anomalous situation. Anomalous situations, intriguing. Posthumous child. Born after the death of the father. Feels enervated. Completely exhausted. Shows perspicacity. Mental keenness. An unpopular lieutenant. A strict disciplinarian. Gregarious person. Very, very sociable. So you can see the differences because a martinate and you can compare with the lenient. Okay, perspicacity is something related with mental keenness. Is highly intellectual. A person normally the intellectual person may have a high level of perspicacity. Enervated, something tired or is exhausted. Okay, I may feel tired if I walk for a long time. So posthumous child, you can think the father died and the baby was born after the death of the father. Okay, normal situation which is quite totally unexpected, and the situation was totally different, intriguing, different, anomalous, something eccentric, anomaly. So anomaly in the sense that we can unexpectedly to identify something. Okay, anomaly situation or something different, totally unexpectedly different, or we can make lots of unexpected differences actually. Okay, so gregarious persons who are very very sociable. Okay, the person normally can be extrovert. Okay, so extrovert people can be. So once again you can remember the word anomalous. Anomalous means deviated from what is normal or expected. As I told you, it was deviated from the normal situation. So that we can use the word anomaly is a noun form of anomalous. Okay, so it's anomalous behavior, which is totally eccentric. You can take this example, which makes you understand easily. So here you can look at different kind of vocabulary. Cavalier treatment, which is very very negative and worst, haughty and high-handed one. So anomalous, posthumous child, enervated, perspicacity, martinet, gregarious person. So gregarious person, it is very very familiarized term, which might have been found in various article or different newspapers. So you can take different example. Normally the person who is in marketing field can be gregarious as they are interacting with various kind of people. So you can easily remember this word when comparing with the marketing people. Okay, the last five words: phlegmatic, emotionally unresponsive, inveterate gambler, habitual, egregious, outstandingly bad, cacophony of a large city, unpleasant noises, harsh sound, Brurian adolescent, sexually longing, uxorious husband, fondly and foolishly doting on his wife. So here you can see some words which are normally identified in different article. Inveterate liar. You can use that inveterate student, inveterate liar, inveterate personality. So inveterate, habitually addicted to making the particular thing which is bad. Egregious is something very very outstandingly bad. Cacophony, caliphony. Caliphony is something a pleasant sound like melodious. Cacophony is quite opposite to caliphony. Okay, a prurient, sexually longing, because some of the people, especially we can say few girls or few boys, or either boys or girls who are sexually longing, can be called prurient adolescent. Okay, and uxorious husband and virago wife. You can take equal example. Uxorious in the sense a person who is highly doting on his wife, and virago is opposite words. Wife is so always arguing. You can remember promiscuous and nymphomaniac people. So they are all quite socially different people. So I hope now the sessions are over. We have got 60 interesting words, and I strongly believe that you might have scored well. And best of luck. I hope you can enhance your vocabulary skills. Thank you, thank you, thank you.